Hello, Savannah. Thank you for tuning into WRULP Savannah, Georgia 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul, and you just tuned into Real Estate Real Talk with myself, Julia M. Spencer. Thank you so much for tuning in. And on today's show, I'm presenting to you the last installation of my interview that I conducted on October 21st with David Basil. In this last segment, we're talking about excess proceeds and his opinion on it and what they are. And if you want to listen to the first two parts of this interview, they will be published at a later point in time on the WRUU.org website or on my YouTube channel. Very easy to find, Julia M. Spencer, and you can listen to all three parts there. Here's me speaking to David Basil. He is a tax foreclosure attorney and real estate attorney that deals with specifically with that type of investment. And let's see what he has to say. I do want to talk really briefly about one other thing that there's a lot of interest in, which is the excess funds type of investing. Because you help clients with that as well, right?
Well, I know I do help clients do that, but there are so many fish in that pool that are trying to get those excess funds.
Right.
You've got companies from other states that are, well, and let's walk that back. Let's say the excess funds are paid to those who have an interest at the property, including the owner, at the time of the tax sale.
Right.
So if you have a lien that attaches after the tax sale, they rule that no, you can't do that. And also, if you are entitled, if you're entitled to the excess funds as the former owner, and somebody wants to redeem the property, let's say person A comes along and says, "Well, sell me your property here for $500 and I'll redeem it." There has to be special language of conveyance in that deed, so that person does not get the excess funds. So that's a precaution there. But what does occur is that list is made public, and there are a lot of people that say,
right.
"Oh my gosh, there's $10,000 there. Let's go and help these people find it."
Right.
I actually have a friend of mine. I'm a client. I would consider him a friend. He's in legal trouble now in Floyd County because he had a contract to collect excess funds from someone who later there's an allegation that this person had dementia, and the district attorney in not Floyd County has charged him with the crime of abusing disabled persons. Now, I know this guy. I've worked with him a couple of times. They do charge a lot, but I have not seen that type of malicious behavior or fraudulent behavior from him. You never know when you get to a criminal context, and then still, they could go, if he gets convicted, he could go to the appellate courts, and we'll learn about it in years to come, that no, this is a lawful contract here, and that's not a criminal act. Now, then the question would be, well, after it's signed, if someone gets dementia, is that effective or not, or something like this? But anyway, so I have help, and what typically we do, there may be, is the tax commissioner or the city clerk, whoever sold the property, will have just a vanilla form for a claim. It's excess funds claim, name, address, how much are you entitled to, why are you entitled to it, what's your current address, give us your driver's license signed under penalty of perjury, here before notary and submit it.
Mm-hmm.
So in some occasions where it's very simple, the tax commissioner can just cut that person a check.
Mm-hmm.
In other circumstances, there may be a dispute.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a mortgage or a loan, a security deed.
Mm-hmm.
There may be some other interest affecting the title.
Right.
There may be that the former owner is deceased, and that heirs have to come in, and in order to do that, normally what the tax commissioner would require is that they go to probate court and probate the estate and have either an administrator or executor make application for those excess funds.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the probate court would then take care of it and make sure that person's properly bonded,
Mm-hmm.
because that's an interest that has to be cleared in the probate application. And then that person can then distribute it among those who are entitled in the heirs. But
Right.
what we would do, where I get involved in it now I used to be involved in it on the tax commissioner side, and what we would do if we got more than one claim, or if we were uncomfortable with the claim that was being made, we could then do what is called an interpleader action. And that is also an equitable action. And simply that means that you would create, as part of the tax commission city clerk, a petition, a complaint
Mm-hmm.
against all the interest holders, and file it in court and say, we received this money, it's not ours, but there have been multiple claims to it, and we are not going to pay this thing more than once. You, court, are going to decide who is entitled to payment. That's called the interpleader. It's an
Right.
equitable interpleader. And that's where we usually get involved. I used to be involved where I would file these
Mm-hmm.
on behalf of the tax commissioners, and we would ask that we be discharged
Mm-hmm.
after a while, and you can actually get paid. Now, another thing is that your listeners may have, or may can relate to, is that let's say there's an life insurance policy,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone dies, and the life insurance policy, there are many claims to that, whether they're good claims or not. The life insurance company will then, in the same way, interplead those monies into the court and ask the court to decide on the merits of the claims. And the life insurance company is seeking to be absolved because they have the money, $50,000, $500,000, $10 million, put it into the court. Their liability is now absolved, or they have no liability after that. They didn't mispay to anybody. So on the tax side, is something of the same thing. So I will get involved with some people who come to me. I don't really actively get involved in the interpleader actions for lots of reasons. It's too costly for the client unless there's a lot of money in the registry of the court, because sometimes it just may take more than is fair to take from the client. You charge $4,000 or $5,000 to do that, where there's $10,000 in the registry of the court. And you're saying, look, I'll help you out, but I can't do the whole thing, because if I do, it's the same fairness issue. I go over it. You don't want to be part of they have the old cartoons where the husband or wife are tugging at the cow, and the two lawyers are milking the cow.
Yeah.
You don't want to fall into that category.
Right.
Milking the cow, you want to cut everybody a fair deal when you see it coming. That's the way my approach is. So I do get involved, and we make arguments. I recently was in one where some may be familiar with Realty Inc. It's a what they had gone around and done and I don't want to disparage anybody. I think I'm just telling these are just the facts.
Right.
They had gone around and sold 40 a sales contract. So if you go up, they would pay you some money, and they would put on the record, if you sell this property ever, you're supposed to use us as a selling agent.
Oh, I see.
So they would go around and sell that, and they did all through Georgia. They do it all throughout the part of the United States.
Wow.
And what would happen is that 15, 20 years later, they go to sell the property, and the lawyer searching the title would say, hey, look, there's something we got. How much do you want out of this, MD Realty? And MD Realty would charge a fair amount.
Right.
And what happened is that they would do that, and eventually the state attorney general got involved, filed a complaint against them in Fulton County. Now, they've been subject to U.S. Senate hearings on this. The state of Massachusetts, I believe, I'm not sure if it's Connecticut also, has actually filed and received an injunction. But I got into, going back to this, Realty had a covenant on this property, and I made an argument that the covenant was unenforceable as against public policy. Looking at that, I think the judge is going to basically say that we're not going to resolve that, but they didn't respond to my motion. But they were in bankruptcy court, I think,
right.
And Realty is in Florida.
Which contract was this? What kind of contract? Did they write this little clause in there, and what kind of contract was this?
Well, it was actually a covenant, meaning it was a contract between the owners, and they'd get paid a little bit of money, and whoever was selling them that would probably get some sort of commission, and then that would be recorded on the real estate records.
I see.
So it was an obligation, a contractual obligation by the owners when they sell it to use exclusively Realty.
Oh, okay.
As this.
So that's unrelated to. That's unrelated to the excess funds. That's just a regular.
Right. Well, we had one. I had one of those covenants on the end.
I see.
In an excess funds case, I had to make an argument because they were competing interests.
I see. Okay, I got you. Understand? Oh, I understand. Okay, so they would have been one of the ones paid out.
Right.
I see. Right. Okay, understand. Whoa, well, there's a lot. That's a lot to absorb. So honestly, I knew you were very, very, very knowledgeable and very experienced. Now, after listening to you talk, I'm just awestruck. So glad that I have you working on my side all these years. And I wasn't even aware.
Say I was more entertaining.
Yes, that too. You were a lecturer with government studies, so I did a lot of government studies and international studies. Yeah, that was interesting. Well, great.
I'm into fortune now, no longer fame.
Here you go. One more question though, have you ever bought any properties yourself at a tax sale?
Oh yeah. I have. I've got close to not a dozen. Maybe 10-ish, yeah.
That's
and
good.
I only buy them. I only buy them around where I can see them. I think my strength as a team member is title clearing.
Right.
I'm doing some development now on a property, and I've got other plans and things like that. But I'm more of a novice on that, but I do have these.
Okay.
And I have made some money because we can foreclose and quiet the title on these for less for cost.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, you have that advantage. That's awesome.
So I do have some. I like to have them. I think they're very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got one that I may try to put a billboard on it. It's right on I-20.
Nice.
hoping, crossing my fingers, I could get that, because that one actually was, the stories I was actually not given that one, but almost given that one.
Very cool.
I was in Douglas County, and someone came in and said, I want you to do this work on this property, or this tax deed.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the work on it. I sent them the bill, and they said, this is not the property I bought at the tax sale.
Oh, no.
I meant to buy something else. I was like, well, why are you telling me that?
Right.
Because I don't want to pay you.
Oh, I see.
Well, that's not really the way to go. I mean, you told me to do the work and did the work. So they eventually just gifted it to me. So
very good.
That was the one there we got for cost. And if we can turn it into a billboard on I-20, it would really be a dime in the rough.
Yes. Excellent.
But
well,
everybody gets their day in the sun on that. So hopefully I'll get mine.
Right, of course. Well, awesome. So good to talk to you, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this interview, and it will be published soon. Thank you so much for your time. For sure, I will go to you with any questions whatsoever now that I know a little bit more about.
And it's best to text me.
Okay.
Or email me, because I'm really the only one in the office that answers the phone.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Good to know.
Text.
Mm-hmm.
And you can text and fax and talk on the same line.
Excellent. And so if there's anybody of my listeners that wants to contact you and has questions, or maybe wants to engage your law firm for your services, how would they reach you best other than texting? Do you have a website that you want to talk?
Yeah, we have a website. It's www.basillawgroup.
Okay.
And my email is Basil, it's BASIL, law, LAW, GROUP @gmail.com. Okay. We're in Carrollton. My telephone number is 770-830-8220. That takes text. And text is best. Just text new tax sale if you want, or help with tax sale.
Okay.
And we'll start a conversation.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, I hope you enjoy your day.
Yes.
And breathe in that nice sea air. That's what we miss about being in Carrollton.
Yes.
No salt marshes.
Right. And if you're I'm actually on an island, believe it or not. If you're ever in Savannah, look me up. We should have some coffee.
Will do.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, Julia.
Have a great day.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right.
You too.
Bye-bye. This concludes my interview with David Basil, my attorney that's been handling my tax sale foreclosures for the last 5 years. And hopefully you enjoyed the interview. If you want to listen to the first and the second part of this interview, this section today was the third part. You can listen to them on the WRUU.org website. Just go to archives and then scroll to Wednesday all the way down to the 12:06 p.m. Wednesday slot right after the happiness message, and you can listen to the two previous interview sections there. This will also be published later on at some point on my YouTube channel, and that's really easy to find. It's just my name, Julia M. Spencer. And of course, you are listening to Real Estate Real Talk with myself, Julia M. Spencer, my show that deals with anything and everything related to real estate investing, and anything and everything in between for the everyday investor, for the homeowner, for the tenant, for the landlord, anybody and everybody that touches real estate. Of course, I do always appreciate your input, all feedback, good, bad, ugly, nice. I appreciate it, so please do go to my YouTube channel. If you want to leave a comment on any of my videos, I'll see it there. You can also contact me at julie12366@gmail.com. If you have additional questions to myself or to my attorney, of course, just contact me. And I hope you have a nice Wednesday afternoon. I'll be back again next week, and we'll have some brand new information and new topics then. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.